So collecting the sap from, I have a couple of pines and I'm going to use it for salve. But what's interesting about this little pine is all this white sap coming out of these areas. Got a good little trickle down here. There it is. That's still wet. So we're obviously not going to preserve any of this. But I believe it's because the woodpeckers must really thoroughly enjoy this pine. And so it is just healing itself left and right from the woodpeckers. Sticky. It's not even hardened yet. We'll let that harden. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Journey Within. I am Sarah, and today I am going to be trying my hand at making a salve. We've really wanted to learn how to forage and do things on our own when moving out to an area where we had the opportunity to do so. And I happened to come across a video from the backcountry herbalist, and one of her videos was making a pine salve, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. We have a couple of pine trees, and so what this is it's the resin from the pine trees, which I took a little video. I was collecting it with my younger son, so I was kind of in the moment with him. The video I took is actually of the area that we really didn't take anything from because it was really kind of healing the trees still. However, what it does is it's a great, I guess, antibiotic ointment. It's really good for cuts and burns if you get hurt. It's just placing a little bit on top of it. So let's give it a try. We only collected a little because we only have a few trees. And like I said, we didn't collect from one of them very much at all because it was needing its own resin to help heal itself. It's apparently well loved by woodpeckers. That's my guess. I'm going with that. So anyway, hopefully we do this right. Got my new hot pan, so hopefully everything goes well with this. If not, I've got a little fire extinguisher. But this is my candle making area, and so I'll be using a little bit of olive oil, some beeswax pellets, cold water in here, which I will transfer this over to and boil. So, and then this is what we collected. I don't know if I'll be able to show you if you can see in there. Oh, a little bit. Yeah, so we only collected a little bit, like I said, just a tiny bit, but this is a good, dipping our toes in, trying something. These are actually my candle tins. So, all right, and I'm going to be making a lot less than she made in her video. So for this, let me see if I can get in a better location so you can see me a little better. Okay, so first I'm going to turn this on. Here we go. I'm guessing this light's going to light up when it starts to get warm enough. I'm going to go about halfway here. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not. Turning it back off. Correcting myself there. We need to put the oil in while it's still cool. So I'm only going to fill this a little less than halfway. Not very much. Like I said, we don't have very much pine resin to use in the first place. So place this in here. Actually, I think that's still a little tiny. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on the burner. All right, here we go again. I'm gonna go about halfway here. Gonna let the water, a little more than halfway. We're gonna let the water kind of boil and warm up a little bit. We're gonna pour, I'm trying to remember, I think she just poured this in before it even started boiling. So hopefully we can make it all in without losing any of it. resin in there. All right, and then I'm going. Okay, so I am back, but this time in the kitchen. So apparently my brand new burner is not wanting to work, hence why the light wasn't popping on. So, yeah, I tried it in a few different outlets, ones that I knew were working, so I guess I just need to send that one back and get a new one. So anyway, we're at the stove. This is heating up now, so I'm gonna mix my oil with my pine resin, just a little bit more. We want to get this to a simmer, kind of a boil and then a simmer. And then once it's there, we will add the beeswax pellets to it to mix in. So we'll give this a few more minutes to get to a boil. All right, so we've got a good amount of bubbles going and it's heating up pretty well. I've been mixing it and it is getting, there are definitely sticky particles in here. And you can even smell the pine a little bit. Like when you're right over, I can get a hint of pine. But mixing this up just a little more, and then I'm gonna add my wax pellets to it. So this is kind of a small opening, so this might be a little tricky, but we'll get it. I'm gonna pour just a few in here. Hey, puppy. Just so you know, the camera is rolling. I think that might be a little too much for this. I'm just gonna try to sprinkle them in. So I didn't use very much because I didn't use very much oil, probably just like, just one fell in there. I would say probably 2 tablespoons of oil is kind of what I used. So then, I think maybe I just used, I'm making that salve that I said I was gonna make. With the, remember the pine resin that we collected from the trees, the pine trees? Yeah, that's what I am using it for. Yep, so
The sap?
So, yes, the sap that we got. So now I am, my glasses are fogging up there. Melting the wax. I think I used probably a tablespoon of wax in. Like I said, this isn't going to be a large jar, even though I have kind of a large jar right there for it. Let me get that all mixed up. All right. Turn that off, and then I'm just gonna let this, I guess, cool. You know, she didn't specify that in part of the video. So let it kind of cool off, and then I'm gonna pour it into my tin. So, and then we might have a little extra like dirt particles. Ooh, that looks fun. A few extra dirt particles that will just probably stick to the bottom of this. So, all right, next we'll be pouring it in the tin. All right, so next I'm gonna just pour this into my tin, and it'll probably only fill about halfway. They didn't have too much dirt stuff, that mostly stayed on the bottom right there. All right, so yeah, just a tiny bit right there from it, not too much. Set that off to the side. Yep, so there is, I'm gonna let this set now. Yeah, it really didn't fill much at all, but this is the only size tin that I have at the moment. So it filled about right about there, so 1/4 of the way, but that's okay. It actually like a 4-ounce size tin. So anyway, we're gonna let this set. I'll show you what it looks like when it is set, and fingers crossed it turns out okay. All right, well, here is what it looks like at the moment. It's not set yet. I just poured it, but that little liquid there. So like I said, we're gonna let this set, and then I will show you the end results. Hopefully, I would say 30 minutes to an hour, it should be set. The salve came out very nicely. My fingernail got that. Yep, it is. Ooh, can't. It's a good texture. So soft. And it smells like pine. Yay.